recording. Start the webinar. All right. Looks like we are live, and it is Wednesday, November 19th. Thanksgiving is coming up. We're starting this session 1 minute early. Wow, that's incredible. I got a beautiful city of Austin behind me, and our guest is in San Antonio, I believe, and Llewellyn is in New Hampshire, and John Butler is here in Austin, North Austin as well. And it's all looking good. I don't know what happened to Llewellyn. He disappeared, but he's coming. Oh, he got getting something to drink, I'm sure. There he comes. And Johnny, where's your bow tie?
Well, I haven't had them on since 19 what was my high school what was my high school prom? I have to go find it.
Anyway, before we get rolling with this wonderful opportunity here today to talk about the Port of San Antonio, let's have our own John Sibley Butler play some music.
I could hear the wind blowing in my mind. Just the way it used to do through the Georgia pines. And you were there to answer when I called. You and I had it all. Remember when I used to touch your hair while looking for a feeling, and it was always there. You were the best thing in my life, I do recall. You and me had it all.
All right. Well done, as usual. Well, there's so much going on. I'm going to stay out of politics myself, as usual. You guys can dive into that if you want. But today, I believe, the market is reacting to the potential of no interest rates going up. Nvidia had their announcement; their stock is up, and other companies are sharing their results this week. AMD and Microsoft and Google and others, and the AI stuff is growing like crazy, or continues to grow like crazy. And I'm curious to see what AI is bringing to Texas via San Antonio, because it is a very broad opportunity to improve everything. And I think intelligent infrastructure on steroids is really where things are heading. And I think there is no better example of that than the Port of San Antonio. And the grid seems to be fine, and the weather is great in Texas. So this is kind of like easy time for the grid before the winter shows up in January, February, where things could get interesting. Amazon is hiring 250,000 people for their high season, Christmas season, Black Friday season, whatever they call it. And it's just fascinating to see the display of consumerism continues to accelerate. And seems like everything, it's a bit of a dichotomy in terms of what's going on. Some people are still on the half full, some people are still on the half empty. But innovation is accelerating tremendously. Data centers being built everywhere. What's going on in your neck of the woods, Johnny?
Well, my neck of the woods is about job creation. I was giving a keynote this morning at Baylor University, who wants to move the center of gravity of technology and jobs to Baylor, to Waco. They feel that certainly they can contribute in the past, but between Dallas and Waco is very, very interesting. That would also include the Fort Hood area. And the question is a very, very simple one. What are the new technologies or the new ideas that will get us forward as measured by job creation and some kind of economic stability for future generations? It's kind of based on the IC Square Institute, the University of Texas, and what you did when you were at Texas State. And I think that people are really, really understanding that it is, of course, the technology that creates new jobs and how those different kind of jobs begin to evolve. The other thing that's happening in my world is the continued creation of companies. I am seeing more startups now than I have seen in a long time. And again, it's around the cloud. But what's interesting about it all, there's also a gathering effect on all of these startups. That is, we're kind of back to the Saturday night barn dance, because people need to get together. They need to socialize. They need to say hello. And the isolation of people that we saw with the pandemic is certainly there. For example, I'm working with a group in Austin who wants to put a golf facility right down in the middle of Austin, sort of in the north part of Austin, and it would combine office space plus hitting golf balls in a golf range, and it's all inside, and maybe two or three
Mm,
holes. So what I see is that the technology that we do now, and the cloud technology, there's a bit of isolation associated and with that, and people are just trying to figure out how to goof off now. Do you have to teach people how to literally goof off? And then, of course, on the national stage, I saw an interesting visitation at the White House by the Saudis. I thought that was very, very interesting to understand a relationship between the sitting president, his private enterprise, or his family enterprise, and the petroleum business. And the numbers that were being thrown around were very, very interesting. And I think that's sort of a first in the history of the country, if you take away the fact that Eli drove a Tesla up in front of the White House at one time. So I think that's pretty interesting. This as we enter the Christmas holidays, we have to ask ourselves one question, which is interesting in the international scene. If we were to go to San Francisco and sit on the dock with a nice lemonade and watch the wall product, right, move through, if you will, my phone ring, and watch the products move away. I mean, the raw materials move away from America. And then is it coming back as we buy gifts? I mean, is that the definition of a colony? Has China colonized
mm.
us since we're sending raw products to another country and we're purchasing the items themselves? So that's a professor kind of a question as I take on another book on wealth creation and cloud capitalism. So I think we must always think about as intellectuals, as people who write books and ideas, combine and compress history with where we are today, that we see any patterns of history that's repeating. So are we moving toward being some point of a colony where all the raw materials come from us and the finished products come back, from China? And by the way, it's not just America, it's Germany, it's Europe, and it's all over. And finally, let me just say this: if you look at